Dossie, those days, mate.
How about those days?
Oh, we lost to the Roos.
How about those days?
The Roos. Out of anyone. We've lost to the Roos. Comden. Looks like bloody Glenn Jakovic in defence. Bloody Costanzi. I don't even know who Costanzi is. Whipping around, kicking cheapies out the back. I thought it was Curtis Taylor, but his name's Paul Curtis. He's slotting them. We had to put Cade Chandler into the midfield to generate some scores. Jeffo went down. It was a disaster in the concrete jungle.
The
Cold,
Dees.
soulless.
Let's not forget Charlie Coleman had a field day.
Dossie, the D's
Yeah,
suck.
what do you want?
The D's suck.
Yeah, well, it's AFL footy, mate. It's AFL footy. If you're not on your game, you get absolutely pwned. And we got pwned.
Well, there's going to be lots of fun. Welcome back to Monday Magnets. We're
great
at
fun.
episode 7 or something. Dossie's D's have
really
had
good
an
fun.
absolute nightmare on the weekend, which we'll get into. I will preface off the top. It's round 2. And we learned things last week. We learned not to go too fast at the Saints and a few clubs. Story of my life going too quickly. So we don't want to go too quick at the D's, but
The
Doss,
season's over.
Could be worse. You could be Carlton.
The season's over.
Yeah, you could be Carlton.
Could be Freo. They're meant to be top 4.
What were you most disappointed with Caden?
Most disappointed with the Marvel staff cutting off half the stadium, and it was just packed to the rafters in the general admission, but half the level of 3 was free with seats.
Half the level of 3.
I missed out on the first quarter because we couldn't find a seat because they cut off half the stadium. We went up and spoke to a stewardess, or whatever their name is, and I said, how come half the stadium's closed? And he goes, Melbourne supporters don't come over to Marvel. And I say, I haven't been here for 3 years, and I'm probably not coming back for 3 years. I missed half the first quarter, and that's what I was disappointed with.
Is this one of the most demoralising... I wasn't there, but it's got to be one of the most demoralising feelings ever. Being there, knowing the crowd shit, and seeing just thousands of empty seats, and
Yeah.
you can't grab one.
Yeah, they cut off half of level 3, but then they had more people come into general admission than they anticipated. So it was packed to the rafters and there was nowhere to sit where you could sit, but there was seats everywhere. So it was a very frustrating feeling.
Well,
but
level 3 was bumper to bumper. I
Yeah.
went with my sister and she asked the same question.
Only
She's
on
like,
half of the stadium.
only on
though,
half the
Tails.
stadium.
Yeah.
So we asked, people went over the rope where you could, it was just a little rope. So people went through it and sat where there was heaps of seats. And then security came over and kicked them back and said, get into the sardine packet, mate. It's packed to the rafters. Bodies on bodies.
Sardines.
Yeah, no heroes at Marvel. Come on. Let's be real.
And I don't like Marvel at the best of times.
So why don't...
I'm an MCG, staunch MCG man. I think I
No,
prefer
you're
Mars
an-
Stadium over Marvel.
You're an MCC man. You're a staunch MCC
Doss, there
boy.
is not... And this... So let me just... Before anyone gets really angry at me, there's no atmosphere like the MCG. There never will be. You want a good atmosphere, you go to the MCG to watch a game in front of 80K.
I agree.
As a viewing experience last week, I went to the MCG and sat level 4 twice because I love watching the systems, where the defence, kind of how they operate, how they trap you. So I love sitting up level 4 to get a good understanding of the game. However, if you're sitting in the back 10 rows, you just can't see much. They're so
You're a long way
small,
away.
You're so far away that you don't even know which player sometimes is at the footy. You go, it doesn't matter what seat you're at Marvel, unless you're in one of the corners where the concrete's blocking half the fucking
Yeah.
field. Mm-hmm. If you're sitting up top, level 3 at Marvel, there's no bad seat. There's genuinely not a bad seat to watch the game. And I think it's a better viewing experience than at the MCG.
I like being spread out. And I feel like there'll be 28,000 at Marvel, but it feels so compact. All the aisles feel compact. When you're walking in and around the stadium, it feels tight and compact. It's just such a squishy, squashy stadium.
Tell you the D's don't like that. They don't like contested pill.
Well, that's got nothing to do with Marvel, mate.
Oh, you like
Well,
it
the
in and
D's
under.
fans like spreading out because they only rock up with 5,000 at the G. So
Damn straight.
Everyone just sort of gets their own bay.
I like that. I like putting your feet out. I don't like it's cold at Marvel. It's soulless. It's concrete. The walk to Marvel compared to the walk to the G. Blake Pavey raised that a couple of years
When
ago.
was the last time you did a walk to the G, mate?
You walk through the Yarra Park and the trees and the grass and the birds are singing.
Mate, you're getting
Hey, we all
Uber.
know you've got a little parking spot that you go to just to get away from the rat race.
Comment down below, MCG or Marvel. I want to see.
It's just an unfair, because obviously my take's not going to be super popular.
I think there are some people that do go into bat for Marvel.
I genuinely think, from a viewing experience, it feels like you're just there. You're
I
right
reckon
there.
level 2 at Marvel is some of the best seats in the world. But
Family and
anywhere
friends
else,
section.
it's rough. It's
Very good cushion seats.
Yeah. Well,
Sat there before with a few of the Bulldogs VFL players that went to watch one day. Very good.
who'd you sit with?
I sat with Jordan Sweet when he was running around getting 50 touches in the Magoos, and a few of the other boys, a few of the small forwards.
We'll obviously go and review this round in more detail later on. However, one more on the Dees game. At the end of the game, the player race. I gave the Carlton fans a clip last week. Dos, have you... The Dees have been in dire straits for 15 years at times. Obviously, you won a flag a couple of years ago, and that narrative has changed, but could be going the other way. Have you seen something like that at the race?
yeah.
And how long ago?
Caden recorded.
how long-
Caden was the one behind the camera.
Yeah.
How long
I was
has it
actually
been?
when that was transpiring, I was at the Bridge Hotel. If I'm going to be, I'm not even kidding. Like I wanted to get out of the concrete grid as quick as I could, so I got to the Bridge Hotel and watched them walk off the race. But yeah, I have seen that. There's one. The worst one was it was the second season of Mark Neeld in 2012 or 2013. And we lost to Port by 90 points in round 1, and then we lost to Essendon by 150 in round 2, and they're walking off the race.
Jesus.
And it's Mitch Clark, Jack Viney, Lyndon John, Jack Watts, and the members at the race are like spitting chips at them, just like furiously getting into them. So I have seen that stuff before. I would say it would... I would almost say that it happens at most games. Like I would assume that Essendon would have got barreled as they walked off the other day. It just, I don't know, got filmed and posted, so it wasn't a good look. I don't like it. I don't like that look. I'm a big support your boys no matter what. And it was, I don't know, it is throwing the baby out with the bathwater. It's round 2. North are coming, and they're coming hard.
What?
The Shinboners are throbbing.
Pause.
But yeah, it was
Throbbing.
it was disappointing, but yeah, I don't know. I reckon that would happen a little while around the league.
Yeah.
Not a good look. Terrible look.
I think if you're doing that, geez, you've got to have some much bigger problems going on, or you need some bigger problems.
Yeah.
Like you need some stuff going on, mate, because it's just outrageous. Another one we spoke about last week, Tommy Mitchell was in the media, he was on commentary. This week he went on to Triple M, spoke a little bit about how the injury's keeping him
Doing
out.
cashies.
He's doing some cashies?
He loves putting a ball magnets hoodie on for these.
Well, it's a good hoodie, Tails.
It's good. It's good marketing.
It's a good
Great
colour.
plugging.
And he just said, it's tough being out.
I felt like we should have. Did we ask him about that? Because we spoke about it off camera. But when he was on the pod with us last week, I felt like we should have picked his brain about the setback.
Well, I don't know if he wants to continuously keep talking about it. Like, it's good he can come in here, we can get his mind off it.
Yeah, true.
You know, we can talk about...
Tails gets his mind on. He loves Tails.
He loves Tails.
He's enthralled by Tails.
I'm his boy. I'm his boy. But there will be there's something in the works that he will be talking a bit about his setbacks on for the ball magnets fans.
The Ball Magnets documentary.
Yeah, the doco.
Which, on Tommy's first episode, we spoke about that it was going to be coming out a week into the season or a week before the season. Still hasn't come out.
Yeah.
But it's done. It's ready to go. It'll be there shortly. Can we talk about Tom Powell, please?
Yeah.
I think let's start the round of review and we'll get into Tom Powell.
Let's there's structure to this. There's structure to the game review. We could start at the Thursday night and go to the Sunday, but let's just talk about Tom Powell. Talk to us, Will.
We can talk about Tom Powell.
What do you feel about Tommy?
Well, he got a nice little plug from KSI, the great man himself, after kicked a few snags, using his song "Thick of It."
I'm in the thick of it. Everybody knows.
I can't believe KSI and Tom Powell, just a little plugger from North Melbourne, has got a shout out from one of the biggest entertainers in the world on his Instagram.
Just some bloke from SA
Yeah.
chipping away and just being a little ball magnet.
He's KSI's GOAT.
He's KSI's GOAT.
So, like, there's Dusty, there's Lee Matthews, but in KSI's mind, Tommy Powell is the GOAT.
Tom Bow's there.
I did have a look to check. He didn't give him the follow.
No.
That'll come.
Look, it's fair. It's probably fair enough.
A couple
big
more
ask.
performances like that and it'll come.
Another North Melbourne star in the media, before we seriously get into the round review, LDU expected to not give in to the war chest at St Kilda. Expected, it says here, to stay at North on a 7-year, $9 million deal thanks to Cal Twomey. Progress proving performances like today can go a long way in Roo's retention of their key players.
That feels like unders money-wise because you're hearing like people sign for 10 years and it's getting up to this 17 and 18 mark. LDU to sign for 7 and it's only 9. It's only 1 and a bit. That feels like unders.
No, to stay at the club that you were drafted to, as well as after having multiple injuries, big injuries, and you know he performed on the weekend. He's had some. I'm not saying anything bad about LDU, but there has been the odd performance where he's like, geez, he looks a bit slow, or he's just been injured. So $9 million off 7 years is.
Yeah, I'm not
doing
saying
all
that
right.
about it.
Mind you, he's a 25-year-old in that side of a lot of young kids, and he's had to be a leader amongst a lot of like young souls around the club. So for the club to have a bit of, I guess, faith and trust in him going forward, I think like he'd respect that and he'd probably want to stay at Arden Street.
I know we already sort of tied this bow, but I'm going to untie the bow and open it back up. But Tom Powell. So I look at Tom Powell and he reminds me of that sort of 4th or 5th string midfielder that is contributing really well. So he's in the side every week, but he, you know, naturally in my head, he's behind Shees, LDU, Simpkin.
Yeah, naturally.
McKirch and whatnot. Yeah. But I think he's starting to put out performances where he's rivaling their output. And I wonder, can Tom Powell, like in 10 years, are we going to look back and be like, yeah, he wasn't drafted as highly as that crop, but his output was as good? Like, is he going to have the best and fairest and maybe the All-Australian nods like the rest of that crop?
I think it's a massive shout. And I think they've had a few like it. Like, Will Phillips has probably been a little bit underwhelming at times.
Well, he's already gone past players like that, I think.
But like there's probably 3 or 4 of them, and it was going to be one of them to take the jump. And if it's Tom Powell, great. But then they needed one of those like 3 or 4 mid-tier.
Is he a first rounder, Tommy Powell?
I don't know. I mean, Phillips is. Will Phillips was
Will Phillips was pick 3. For some reason, I just assumed Tom Powell was like a 20s.
Right.
Just because he's a little bit off Broadway and he wasn't as big as a signing, you know, as the Shees and the Kurtz and the Wardlaw.
People have been talking about him for a while, though. Like, people have been talking about his...
Pick 12?
Pick 13.
Yeah.
Right. People have been talking about Tom Powell's, like, ability, like, potential ability for years, though.
Yeah.
Like, they have been talking about him and it just hasn't come to fruition, but now it is.
Man, Wardlaw's not even in the side.
Yeah, what's going on there?
He's just his hammies. They got to get his hammies right.
Is it?
So many soft tissues, yeah. He gets injured a lot. But he almost felt like he's the pick of the bunch of that crop as well, and he's not even playing. So they've got gears to go. I said they'd win 6 to 8 games this season. Geez, with a performance like that, they might breeze through 6 to 8 wins.
I think the thing, and I'll go back and untie elbow about.
So I've tied my bow, and now you're
about Tommy Powell. His first 3 years, he wasn't finding the football as much. I think it was more small forward and then a little bit of midfield minutes, and he was struggling to get above that 20 touch average. But the last 2 years, he's like smashed that barrier. Like last year, he really came into his own, found a lot of the footy, and this year he's already, 2 games in, but he's already averaging 29 touches to start off the year. So I think
29 touches.
29 touches.
Oh my god!
He statistically had a better game last week in AFL fantasy.
Someone put an arm across Tom Powell.
Please. Someone get on.
Can't keep getting away with this.
Yeah.
Let's get into the round review. I was down there on Thursday night for Carlton Hawks. Were you
doing the stream?
You were on the stream.
Laughing at Carlton.
And you too lazy to go?
Yeah, I'm not a big neutral footy man.
Mate, I went to 3 games of football and streamed the other games. I fucking love being a neutral.
How good's being a neutral?
You say mutual?
Yeah, mutual.
I think
Oh,
it's
you want to be a
neutral.
mutual?
Oh, sorry, neutral. Fuck.
You wanna be- let's go- oh,
I love being a mutual at the
Yeah,
game.
it's Monday. Yeah, I love being mutual with the fans and the players.
Tails came down with me to the Saints game as a neutral and left as a Saints fan. So,
Yeah,
pretty
we
much.
were
Well-
high fiving blokes and just shaking hands and kissing and
That's right.
I'm
The
like
babies.
Tails. Any team that plays against Geelong, I support as well.
Yeah, good. Great call. What do we see? I saw a fair bit in this this game on Thursday night. I mean, the footy's back, I understand that, but is there just like way more storylines at the moment than like ever? Like I feel like there's just way too much to speak about.
Is that because there's more shows, or do you reckon there's more access to watching every game, so every moment can get talked about?
I think
in
there's
social
more shows.
media?
I think there's definitely more shows, but I reckon there's more individual creators, like just doing the Dan Does Footy.
Yeah, like Dan can set an agenda for a whole week just by putting something up.
Yeah. So, and I think
It's incredible.
there's 100 kids doing his style of content, so it's out there.
Dan's broken the internet of just
Oh, hasn't he?
filming himself, filming on the selfie camera, get a cutout of the score, and just like we see that littered over social media.
We have.
And Dan was always going to do that. He's one of the best in the sporting industry,
If not the best now.
if not the best.
Quickest growing sports brand in Australian history.
Yeah. But a storyline that I sort of created from Thursday night is Paddy Cripps doing too much by himself.
Well, I don't know if
Yeah.
is Paddy Cripps doing too much.
Is
by
no one
himself.
going with him?
Is he
Yeah.
the best ruckman in the comp?
That's
That's what I want to know.
Yeah.
Is he the best utility in the competition that we've ever seen?
I could not believe they put him back in there. I could not believe it.
So the reason I say is he doing a lot by himself. There was the passage of play where Nick Watson in the last quarter put the dagger in.
And he was just gutted. Like he
And
was
Paddy
done.
Cripps was the last player in defence to get to him, and Watson sidesteps him. Great player, but Paddy Cripps, well, as soon as he turned, he gave up on the run straight away.
I think he was just gassed though,
He was-
Tails. He was gassed fourth quarter.
Yeah.
He's had 30. He's trying.
gassed, but who else is coming with him?
No, so
Yeah.
I agree. And maybe this is controversial and harsh. I don't know if Sam Walsh is playing very effective football right now.
No, he's not. But I don't like when people sort of put a line through Sam Walsh as a whole. Like, he's not in form and he's had an interrupted pre-season. He's been injured for a couple of years. But when Sam Walsh is up and running, he's one of the best midfielders in the competition. So when he is going, Cripper has that waxing partner, but he just doesn't have that at the moment. So you're right, he's not functioning. His output's not optimal at the moment, but he is a gun player when he gets going. So I don't know how long. Like, is he carrying that back? That back's been plaguing
Maybe
him for a while.
It could be, but he's obviously a very high quality person to have in your system. But like George Hewitt was the highest fantasy. He had 28, one under Cripper. Like, I'm looking at these disposals, and it's not like this Carlton midfield's not getting disposals. George Hewitt 28, Chera 28, Walsh 22, Cripper 29. So they're finding the footy. It's just not effective.
It's just no one other than Cripper looks like they're having a crack.
Yeah.
Actually, no, I take that statement back. There are a few blokes out there that are having a crack. I'll forget a few of them, but Jack Silvani's putting in.
Jack Silvani punches out of his weight class all the
Yeah.
time. Like, he's sort of like a medium, but he cracks in.
He's giving an absolute crack, and it's good to see him swung back down forward and having some shots at goal. And there's not enough blokes going with Paddy Cripps.
Jack Silvani, I think he's a good guy. We're singing his praises. He kicked 1-3, guys. He kicked
But
1-3.
he's putting shots on the board.
He kicked 1-3.
I don't, mate.
Was he a backman to start? They sort of
Everyone's-
swing him back and forward.
Everyone's had a day where they've missed a couple goals, but fuck, like he's the one putting pressure in the forward line. He's taking the clunks.
Isn't he playing back though?
I think
They're putting him forward in the last quarter.
But to kick 1-3 from defence is impressive. I can't remember if he started back or he went forward and went back. But he has a dip. Jack Silvani has a dip. it's just crazy. Like Mackay was out, Curnow comes in, but Curnow hasn't done a preseason and his foot's not quite right. So it's like without Mackay and Curnow, the forward line does look a little bit limp. I don't know. They're just all their stars are like carrying something. Like they're just, and then they also have a game plan that doesn't really stack up in 2025. Like it feels like the contest and defense of 2021 is gone now. It is like end-to-end GWS Hawthorn footy, and teams who haven't adapted are getting pwned.
Look, I hear you both. I hear you both, and I don't disagree. And backing it up, like Blake Acres had 10. Curnow's probably had his worst performance.
Yeah, where's your bottom six? Where's the bottom six that are meant to be dragging the club along?
Yeah, I'm not sure. Hopefully they rock up in the next couple of weeks. But let's get on to these Hawks.
Oh, wow.
The Hollywood Hawks. John Newcomb. He's taking the piss to start the season. Another 32, 142 fantasy, 11 tackles. This man is leading the Brownlow.
Marby Chol with another 3 goals. Just
Wow.
Yeah.
And
Oh
he's
my
gone-
God, doesn't he look agile?
He's
Will?
gone back-to-back games with 3 goals. Just like, and that stuff goes unnoticed because the forwards and like obviously your players with a lot of flair come into the game and like they're performing really well. But yeah, Marby Chel's kicked 6 in the last 2 weeks,
It's awesome.
and he's just putting goals on the board. He's playing as a very agile tall forward, and this is what Hawthorn need while your Kausha Dees and your Mitch Lewises are out as well. Like
He's effort. I reckon it's effort and it's reward for effort because he's just trying so hard every week. Like it just like there's times where he looks like he doesn't want to go or he's just a bit lazy or something. He has not looked like that one iota this year. So full respect to what the big Chol's doing. Someone that I mentioned very briefly last week that has had another really good game. He's underrated. He's young. It's Josh Ward. He's had a goal in 24 this week. Last week he had 22. Just like the depth at the Hawks is unbelievable. And from mine, flag favourites at this point.
Yeah, well, they're the best side that we've seen so far. Jumping on the Josh Ward comment and sort of leapfrogging to another player that I think's a little bit underrated at the moment, but he's got moves that I really froth. I think we might have spoken about him, but Cam McKenzie zigs and zags. I love how he zigs and zags. He's a very good kick of the pill, makes great decisions. He's like a bit of a different look to that midfield. Like they've got a lot of Neanderthals that put their head over it and get the footy out. You know, your Newcomb and your Warple and the likes. But Cam McKenzie's a little bit zippy and he's starting to come into his own as well. So I feel like in 20 games, which will be the end of this season, like a Ward and a McKenzie will be contributing at a high level, at AFL level. And I'm sort of scared of what the Hawks will look like in 20 games. I feel like we're not even seeing their potential, which is concerning for the league.
I'm 100% with you. He's averaging 20 to start the year, and as a 4th or 5th option in the midfield, if you're averaging 20, that's unbelievable. So 100%, I'm on that train. To wrap up the Carlton Hawks game, Jack Ginnivan, so unselfish. He gave 2 looks at goal up to get a couple of goal assists.
He's good like that, Guinea.
Yeah, and I think maybe just maturing as a footballer. I'm
Yeah.
not sure, but he
most definitely.
He's
100%.
You know, he had 10 touches, but he was just unselfish. He could have blazed away and had a shot at goal, but twice he gave him off and turned into 2 really easy conversions for the Hawks.
I think Guinea has the best diet in the AFL. He always puts on his Insta story what he's having for dinner, and it's like meat and veg and avo and rice, and every night I look at it and I go, this is sensational. And he loves a fruit platter as well. Always
yeah.
eating his fruit.
I'd assume that's most AFL players, but they're just not putting it on.
Well, Benny Dixon, I don't know what he was eating. What else do we have? Jath, he was just churning it over, 2nd, 3rd efforts. Blake Hardwick, unbelievable, forward, back. I don't even know where he's playing.
You could do a whole episode on the Hollywood Hawks.
Yeah,
and
we
just
probably
talk about their game in review.
I'll wrap it up for you because Josh Battle. Josh Battle is everywhere. I've been saying it for years, but he's the man. He's the man.
Has he settled better than Barris?
He has, but I think Barris is showing the signs.
Yeah.
He'll get there. And I think they're working together well as well.
Oh, roaming must be up and about. The boy must be pumped.
He must be loving it.
Tails, your boys, Footscray.
Hey, what a game though!
Scray.
What a game to have the players that we had out, like no Trelaw, no Cody Waitman, no Bont. Who else did we have? No Liam Jones. We had 7 of our 10 injuries are probably in our best 18, even our best 23 at the moment. To put a performance like that against Collingwood, I was not too upset leaving the ground. I was pretty upset when I saw the free kick count, but you know, that's the game. Like there was patches where we were scrappy, the cohesion wasn't there, and free kicks will come from that. Like once the game gets a little bit like out of your game style, like you're gonna give up free kicks, like all that. But I was just rapt to see Fraser come through, Ed Richards and Tom Liberatore just tear up the midfield, and then the forwards as well. Oh, Sam Darcy, he's got magnets in his hands. He just lifts his hands up like a prize claw machine and just takes it out of the air and just, oh mate, he could have kicked 6, but I mean, shit happened.
You should have won, Tails. You should have won. I know we've got a big Collingwood contingent that watches the pod and they get around ball magnets, but I felt like the Dogs were the better side throughout the game, and I think it's just a credit to the Pies. Like this is 3 seasons now where they always win the close ones. Like once it got close towards the end, I'm like, they just know how to manage these games.
And look, I thought in the end, it's like if it gets down to the last 5 minutes, it's probably going to be Collingwood's game. Like we haven't prepared as well for games like this as Collingwood have. So I think, I mean, Collingwood always in the last couple minutes going to do a number, but I was just sort of eagerly waiting to see the final result. But one thing that transpired from the game, which I was a bit flat about, is our big boy Mason Cox. Now, unfortunately, he went down after Roy Lobb accidentally got him trying to
Mike Tyson.
Yeah,
I wonder how accidental it was.
Trying to get the ball, which, I mean, footy acts like that happen and everything, and I'm sure Roy Lobb said his apologies. But the shit that's happened online, like, I don't expect everyone to like Mason Cox. I know Aussies have this thing where if some international comes in and tries to play a sport, like they get real defensive and have a bit of a hatred towards him. Like I know Mason Cox has got his haters and his fans, but fuck me, like
As do I.
everyone's got haters, mate. Every keyboard warrior on my TikTok comments that fucking like.
Mate, I bet 15 DMs about James Sicily.
Yeah, that keeps calling me like morbidly obese. Like you're the people that keep ticking my engagement over.
Oh, yeah, mate.
Yeah, like, just makes the world turn. But like the not the death threats, but like the fact that people are out there commenting like Rory Lobb, you're like the Australian of the Year for doing, like fucking get a grip of yourself.
Like, do you reckon Rory Lobb's finding that funny? No.
Do you reckon Rory Lobb's going home? Oh, bloody did a service for Australia tonight. Like it's just the fact people are like positively going about violence in the game. Like that's pretty disappointing. And watching the game, I thought, fuck. I hope Cox is all right because he's a great player of the game.
Ripper bloke.
He's a ripper bloke.
Happy to give you time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like, yes, on the field he might like want to initiate some like a bit of a scuffle, but fuck me, he's human too.
Coxie loves to turn it up, but he's never ever gone too far. He's always told after he kicks a snag, gets into a little bit, he's fine.
He's
fine.
great for the game.
And I find it weird, like. How an Irishman can come over and win the hearts of everyone by learning the new game, but a fucking American bloke comes over and just because he's a Yankee that they can't get around him, doesn't make any sense.
It drives me up the wall when I see comments of people like getting around Rory Lobb and saying like, "Oh mate, yeah, you did fuck it." And like I could go on about it all the time, and I'm gonna get like hate for this, but fuck, he's a human too. It's the same thing with the Melbourne fans going down the race. What fibre in your body do you have that makes you want to like verbally abuse a full side of like a full football side, and think, oh, they'll just cop it on the chin?
Because they don't have problems, Tails. They need bigger problems.
It's just it's fucked. Like people are just so fragile these days.
You're worried about the Rory Lobb hit? Well, I don't know. There's bigger things to worry about inside of your team, guys.
Exactly.
But disappointing.
Yeah,
100%.
very disappointing. I'm going into bat for you, Mason. Fucking my man.
Well, what was very impressive for me was Adam Treloar, Bontempelli, both obviously out. You guys dominated centre clearance, 14-7.
I think he's a Ballarat boy, and we love talking about Ballarat boys. But Joel Frazier,
Yeah, not Horsham boy.
oh my god,
Jolie Frage.
he looks like Bont. Like his actual frame and the way he runs with the footy looks like Bont.
It's scary.
That goal where he ran through the middle, he intercepted
Yeah.
and just steamed through the middle, finished.
He took it himself. Yeah, that was awesome.
He's 21, Dossie. He's 21.
He looks, I guess I've compared him to Bont, but like that Finn Callahan, like that big shoulder frame, like very square, very quick, very skillful. He's going to be a player and a half.
People don't understand. He's getting 30 touches every game, and he's 19. Joel Frazier is 19 years old.
19 or is he
He's
21?
19 years old,
He said
Tails.
21.
Oh, I thought he was 21.
He's 19.
built like a 21-year-old.
It is cooked.
Still on his green peas.
There's not many 19-year-olds in the league going and getting
He's 19.
29.
He's 19. Fuck.
Holy
Harley
dooly.
Reid, where's your 30 touches? Joel Frazier's 19 and doing his thing. He's not getting enough praise.
Touches. He's getting.
Joel Frazier, season average, disposals, elite, handballs, elite, tackles, elite, meters gains above average, fantasy points above average, marks below average. So got some room to move.
Taylor.
He's the second coming of Marcus Bontempelli himself. We had the reincarnation of Dusty in round one with Sammy Lawler, but we've got Bont coming through as well. So pack it up, guys.
Pack it up. Pack it up. We're going to pack it up off this fucking game. Dons, Crows.
I was there as a mutual.
As a mutual?
I went as a mutual.
You're a fucking legend. What a high scorer. It's a ball burster.
That's sort of 1990s footy where it's 160 to 100.
260 points.
The Bombers
kicked.
always play our turn, your turn football. They've done it for years. They'll kick 5 and then they'll let you kick 8. That's
Yeah.
just how they go.
It was my man Ben Keys, who will win a Brownlow one day, as I've stated for the last half decade. He won't, but he's kicked 4-2.
He won a BNF last year, Ben Keys.
Ben Keys is Ben Keys.
He's gone from like delisted plotter who's now contributing a little bit to the Crows to like one of their most important players.
I saw it coming from a while. I've been talking to you about Keysy for 4 years.
Yeah.
I've been talking about him.
You know who's going to be the next Ben Keys?
Tell
Devin
me.
Robinson, because he's not playing for the Lions still.
love
And
his rig.
he's a ready-made, good to go.
He's got a good
Great rig.
abdominal.
Hot.
Best read.
Really hot.
Zach Merritt, 36-4.
Yeah.
Outrageous from the midfield. Dons, help your man out.
Hey,
please.
Sammy Draper was.
Sammy
giving him a chop
Draper,
out.
Jai Caldwell, great, but why does Zach Merritt need to kick 4 from the guts? I don't know.
Sam Draper, snapping it from 10 out directly in front. Thoughts, feelings?
If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Yeah. How many did he kick? 3? 2? 3.
As
a
well
little
for a
three-piece
big
combo with a large chips.
for a big ruckman, like, yeah, it looks like he's way more comfortable doing that.
I think you're right. And he comes from a soccer background where you do come around the ball.
Yeah,
If Sam Draper's going to kick 3 from snaps, even if it's 10 metres out, that's great. If Ollie Henry's going to attempt a snap from 45 out deep in the pocket, go and get stuffed. But yeah, absolutely, Drapes. If it's not broke, don't fix it.
That was cooked by Ollie Henry.
Yeah,
Good footballer.
Hannah's.
So the Crows, they've kicked, 150 and 160 or whatever it is. They were the best scoring side in the comp 2 years ago or whatever when they just missed out on finals. They've got Darren Burgess as the fitness guy. They all look fit and firing.
And they did it at the G.
They all look chiseled. They've done it at the G. Where's their ceiling? Because we said the Hawks are the premiership favourites. I think no
Their
one
ceiling's
disagrees.
top 2.
Top 2, you reckon?
Yeah.
Oh my god,
That's their ceiling. If you're talking about ceilings, it's top 2.
A home qualifier for the Crows if
If you're
they
talking-
want it. If that's what they're feeling like.
Yeah. If you're talking about ceilings, though, that's their ceiling. Because who says at this point they can't be a top 2 side?
Dunno.
If they're pulling out these performances.
No, it's a good.
Statistically, they can finish in the top 2, so, yeah. He's correct.
Oh,
Mathematically,
we got
he's
Clash
correct.
Hutchison.
Planning on me. Ben Keys had 11 marks as well.
Oh, move over, Thilthorpe.
Sorry,
Casey's in town.
Fog still kicked 3 as well.
I said this a couple of years ago where, probably 2 years ago, I said,
Oh, what pod was that on?
oh, not, yeah. It goes all right, episode 4. I said, there's comes a time where Tex needs to get the fuck out and just let the boys, like,
Yeah, he was sort of tripping
let the
over his
kids
own feet
play.
a couple
let
of
the
times.
kids, like, let them just, they're not going to come into their own if they don't get the usage, and they're getting the usage and it's coming to fruition. For Thilthorpe and for the whole forward
Fog.
line. For the Fog looks really good.
Yeah, he set shots crazy. He just drains drop punts from silly angles.
Almost a Tex type boot.
Well, exactly like a little
Exactly like
baby Tex.
Dan Curtin only had 13, but really effective 13. Kicked a snag. Tex Walker, 1 goal, 13 as well. So,
Fell over a few times.
yeah, but he's old.
Yeah, well, that happens. That's
He's
true.
on the back end.
Nibbler.
The Nibbles.
Nibbles.
What did you think? He's your man.
Yeah, I love him. I love Neil Bullen. He's off-field what he would give them, like at training and stuff, driving the standards and like just correcting their culture, and it would be ridiculous what he's doing at the club. And any player that comes out in the media just speaks glowing of him, like a Dawson or whatnot. And then he just plays that role. He's one of the best at that role. It would be Dylan Moore, Gryan, and I reckon Neil Bullen would be in and around the high half forward, extra mid role players.
Bit of that premiership caper too that the
Yeah.
Crows probably don't have.
Yeah.
So
Follow
probably
me, boys.
Nice to get that one in. Probably easy one to breeze over, but Port Tigers, showed they're human.
Yeah.
I mean,
The best team in the comp are human.
this also was
Connor Rosey.
our AIA Ball Magnet of the Week. It's a draw. Again,
Good on you, Connor.
well done.
Congrats. We'll send you out an AIA pack to your PO box wherever you are, mate. So just be ready for that. It's
Racks it up.
a signed photo of me this week.
So it was him and Dacos level, most
Yeah.
disposals this round, Ball
And-
Magnet of the Week.
What I have to ask you boys is how do we decipher it if there is 2 on the same
Well,
touches?
did Connor kick 4?
We go alphabetically.
Well, Rosie 12 score involvements, Dacos 11. Do we give it to Rosie?
But I think Rosie kicked 3 or 4, which is like...
Rosie kicked 2.
I've used some hyperbole
That's
there.
great though.
Oh, Perbs.
That's fine. He's great. One vote Rosie from mine.
I'm going to go 1 vote Nick.
You're a
Well, let's have a look at the AFL fantasy.
All right, Tabs, you don't have all day, mate.
Yeah, Connor Rosie.
Yeah, I think it's
145 to 136. So Connor Rosie gets my vote.
Connor Rosie, you are our AAA Ball Magnet of the Week. One more for this game. I've mentioned him a bit. Watch heaps of his highlights. Kane Farrell had 31 out of the back line.
He's sort of Dan Houston reincarnated.
Bombed one from 60 out as well.
Yeah, could have bombed a couple.
Yeah.
Had a couple opportunities.
Yeah.
Port just need to pull the trigger as soon as you see him. As soon as you see him on the outer, on the arc, just give it to him
Call
straight
him
away.
a fighter jet because he's just sending these bombs from miles out.
Bombers.
Can we give a shout out to the Richmond Football Club
Absolutely.
and their graphics department? Did
yeah.
you see their
yeah.
pre-game graphics? So they do. So everyone normally does like a static post for their team, and it'll be like, all right, we're taking on Collingwood this week, and it's I don't know them. A couple of their players and some Collingwood Magpies on their shoulders, and every team's trying to be creative with that. But over the last couple of years, the Tigers have gone to another level where they're making their posts on game day videos.
Yeah, yeah.
They're like video photos, and their one at Adelaide Oval was just unbelievable.
It's very impressive, yeah.
People would have seen it. Head over to the Richmond
Mate,
Instagram
yeah,
to view
Richmond are second to that. That was North Melbourne last year.
Oh,
I mean, it didn't pop up as prominently because North weren't having a great season last year, but North were the pioneers of that.
Do you
I
reckon
reckon that's
in
one of the
house?
best game day posts I've seen, and it's Justin from Just Designs has been doing them.
So it's not in-house.
No, he works for the Tigers.
Good on you, Justin.
Well
So
done,
Get around
Jazzy.
Justin.
you
My
can have
man.
this Tottenham Hotspur hat, mate.
No, we actually need that.
He
Thanks,
gets
Damo.
the AIA graphic of the week.
No, we need that. We need that. The most important game of the week, St Kilda, won.
Oh, when the Saints come marching in.
Oh,
Just
mate.
I can't explain to you boys how perked up I get when the Saints beat the Cats.
Oh, it's a great
Four
feeling.
on the trot.
I can't tell you how perked up I get when any team beats the
Bloody
Cats,
oath.
mate.
The Cats are your bunnies.
What, mate, we've beat them 4 in a row. They just can't get it done.
They're in the back pocket, mate.
They
The
are.
Saints get an easy fixture. They get the Cats 3 times this year.
Do we?
No, I don't know.
I hope so. I bloody hope
I think
so.
the AFL are just trying to give you some more wins. So they're just feeding you the Cats. GMHBA, we'll play them at Marvel. We'll play them at the G. Preferably not at Marvel. Maybe at the G, though.
Yeah, I mean, we'll have a couple of games at the G. You'll be able to see us there.
Barrel,
Dees.
who was your standout for the Saints?
Mate, there was so many. Jake McRae had a great game last week, but he copped criticism for not being very effective. Jake McRae is an absolute superstar. He is a superstar. I don't know what Bevo is doing. I do, because you won centre clearance and your midfield was great, but far out, he's bloody
Gave him away
good.
for a packet of chips.
He's almost a little bit harder this year. Like
Yeah,
he's
he's got
almost
something to
sort of
prove.
like cracking in and breaking tackles, and he doesn't have liver going in to the cold face, putting his schnoz into the trough and getting it out. It's like Jack McRae's taking on that role a little bit more. Like he's still more outside, but he's a bit tough now, Jack
mate,
McRae.
He's got a chip on his shoulder. Like St Kilda said, "Hey mate, come here and like play your game, play footy. Stop playing in the VFL." And he's out there. He's out there doing what he does best. And I said to Baz, I think he's got the longest streak of 20 touches in AFL history. It's like it was a crazy number as well.
Mate, I wouldn't be surprised. The issue is, like, people keep saying, like, you're not as effective, you get all these touches, but you're not effective.
Shut up.
35 disposals, 10 tackles, 10 score involvements, 9 clearances. Get stuffed, he's not effective and efficient. Like
Yeah.
what are we talking about? That is unbelievable. Rowan Marshall genuinely baptised SDK. Like, full on, gave him a bath. Mason Wood, Jack Sinclair combined for 50 and 4. Zach Jones, 11 disposals last week.
Jones.
27 disposals this week.
I love
Career,
Zach Jones.
career game.
Just unreal. People don't. I think a lot of people don't know Zach Jones can do that, and he can seriously turn it on. He's got X factor, and that's why Ross plays him, because he's got X factor.
So regarding the Saints, I feel like we're here every year. One result's shocking. One result's unbelievable.
we're young.
What are we going to get next week from the Saints? Baz, what are we going to get next week?
Of round 2 last year, where were we? They just knocked off the Pies at the G.
What are we doing next week?
Next
'Cause
week.
if they perform like that with the hunt, the tackle, the vigour, the verve, I feel like they could, potentially push for a top 8 spot. There's no reason why they can't be in and around that top 8 spot.
No, there's no reason why.
But if they
can't.
play like they did a couple of weeks ago, they ain't going to be anywhere near it. So what are we getting from the Saints next
well,
week?
we've got the Tigers. So
2-1. Oh, when the Saints go marching in.
So
Fingers crossed.
I mean, it could seriously
I've
go.
got the early crow,
Could go the other way.
Is that at the G?
It's at Marvel.
Oh, I'm not going.
So Dos won't come.
I won't come.
Just before we steer away from that St Kilda game, can I give one very important shout out? And it's to my great man Liam Stocker. Shut down Paddy Dangerfield in the first half.
Yeah.
Stiff Betty.
Unfortunately, was subbed out injured, but really set the time.
But he left his imprint on Danger for
Yeah.
sure. He did.
He had 7 touches by the fourth quarter. So
And when he went off, that's when the Cats started coming back. So
Yeah.
you could
Yeah.
feel that was a bit of a game changer.
yeah,
100%. Great move from Ross the boss.
stuff stocks.
Lions West Coast.
Ball burster.
Well, the Coasters put up a fight, didn't they?
Yeah, they had a bit of ticker.
I generally thought they could have won the game. They should probably. What it was going into the third, they had the lead. Scary from the Coasters. What could they do this year?
Heaps.
Thanks, mate.
About what they did on the weekend. Bit of ticker, but not going to be good enough, in
That's
my
Brizzy,
opinion.
though.
It's
No,
the
Jake-
longest road trip in football.
No Jake Waterman either.
They've
No Jake
brought
Boardman.
it up to the reigning premiers on their home deck. Lost by 19. Lost by 3 goals.
Yeah.
Away from home.
It was incredible. It was incredible ticker. I love those games on a Sunday where you tune in and it's the underdog and they sort of skip out to a 5-goal lead
ya?
and you go, could they?
Do you?
I do.
I don't know if you do.
I love that.
Because if that was at Marvel, you're not going.
No, I wouldn't have even viewed it. Would have turned it off.
Right.
Would have put the VFL on. But yeah, I thought that was impressive from West Coast. If they bring that effort and intent, they will push a lot of sides. Tim Kelly and their midfield starting to function a little bit better. Like that's been something that's been a bit of a letdown. Their senior players haven't been up to scratch the last couple of seasons, whether they're carrying, injuries and whatnot. But Harley Reid's a bit of a watch. He's our man. We love the Reid machine, but he's just going through those second-year blues a little bit, getting targeted a little bit more.
Getting a little bit of media attention for just
Being targeted by the fans.
Yeah, having a bit of
Targeted by the
mindset
fans.
elsewhere.
He's getting pulled off the footy by, the captain from the other side. Everyone's getting into him. So it would feel heavy. It would feel like I can feel the weight and I'm, not even in his shoes. So I can't imagine what he's going through. But
And you're 30.
and I'm mature. So
He's 19.
it's a bit of a watch for Harley because he's going to have to work through this. But
He will.
He will.
He will. He's too good not to. Lockie Neal, big return game from last week where he didn't really get much of it when he got 35.
Yeah, good on him.
Can't play on James Jordan every week.
What I just want to emphasise is Dane Zorko's 36 years old. He's
Yep.
36 and
And your
he's
point?
had 28.
Am I closer to Dane Zorko in age than I am to you boys?
Yep.
Wow.
Yes.
Concerning.
You and Dane.
You're an old fuck.
You and Dano.
I'm on a pod, Mum. I'm on a pod with the boys. My
Right.
career. This is my career.
Ryan Marrick was really good, 26. Baker coming into the side, 24.
Love
So,
Shout out Ryan Marrick. He's my boy.
running
Ryan
premiers win. We don't really care because the Eagles brought it up to
And they
ya.
didn't have Bo Allen, the Eagles. So imagine when they get Bo Allen.
We've touched on the D's enough. Have you got any other dot points? Because let's just fucking breeze over it.
Do you want to actually talk about the D's, or are they just?
What do you want to
relevant?
speak about?
Track wore the TNs.
Did he?
Yeah.
We'll get them off.
Yeah, that was my favourite part.
I just want to talk about how I'm a little bit worried about the depth. I'm a little bit worried about the age demographic, and I'm a little bit worried that you lose 4 or 5 players and you look really shallow. When a couple of years ago, I'd go watch the D's, they'd lose 4, 5, 6 players. They'd be on the injury list, and we'd have James Jordan, Bedford, Harms come in, and we wouldn't miss a beat. But now we're bringing in these players that are under 20 games, under 20 years of age, and we're looking a little bit light on. So the concern for me is if we're not healthy, we're not going to do anything this year.
Dos, I reckon.
How dysfunctional was the lines as well? Back line to the midfield, missed the kick. Midfield to the forward line, shank it into the middle and turn it over. The dysfunction with this new game plan is of concern. I think we're going to persevere, which is either going to go one of two ways. It's either going to click or it's not, and we're not going to move very much further than 15th.
I think that was one of the worst performances I've seen Melbourne play in 4 years. That being said, it's round 2. And also being said, I thought your leaders, not Clary. I saw.
Good to see Clary back, though.
Yeah, Clary's back in a big
36
way.
in the snag. That's what he
I
does.
thought Gorney gave up at times. I thought Track.
There's something weird about Gorney with that game. Like, Goody came out and said something wasn't quite right. I don't really want to speculate and go into it.
So
but
just don't play him.
Yeah,
Like, you're going to lose by 60 points. Don't play him.
yeah.
Track. I'm not questioning these guys' ability at all. Obviously, I'm not doing that. But just he had 22 and he didn't really look like he wanted to be there.
Yeah. Well, he didn't at one
Like the
point.
body
last year.
language, Track's body language watching on TV,
So I was at the Bridge Hotel when you were talking about this. Was it bad?
really bad. Like just like looking around, looking to blame someone. I don't know, but I still think it's early. You allow some of these new guys to come into these roles, like Harry Sharp, these guys. You don't know who's going to be in the side.
You can't blame injuries because the Bulldogs have so many players out and they're performing at a fairly high level. But I think there's 3 that are killing us at the moment. Cozzy with suspension, May with a larynx, and Windsor has an infection. And I just reckon those 3 change your makeup completely.
Yeah, it does. Like Jake Lever's trying. He's trying to push it.
Tommy
over.
Mack's trying, butchering the pill. And I love Petty. I think Petty has a crack, but Petty looks like a better footballer with Stephen May in the team. So
Harry Petty had moments last night where he looked like that really good backman that he is, but he had some mares last night.
Oh,
too.
I'd love for you to tell me those moments.
No, he did. He did. At the end of the third, he had a really good moment.
He was great last week. He was phenomenal last week, clunking it in the wet. But yeah, it's if they don't fix the cohesion, if they don't get a couple more personnel in, it's going to be a long season for the Dees.
As much excuse me, as much as this is
you're right, mate.
beat down Melbourne sort of talk, let's praise the North boys.
For sure.
Went with my sister. She said, I haven't seen a North win live in a long time. There you go, Bridget. Fucking, that's one for the North faithful. They've all sat around, waited so long, and that was good footy to watch.
No, really good.
They used the ball well. There was the few skill errors, but like that's going to happen. But North ball is fit and firing.
Yeah, I sat with Cook, and Cook was halfway through the last. I'm like, "You're going to kick the first 3 this quarter," and he goes, "No, we're gonna fade away." I'm like, "No, you guys are phenomenal."
That fourth was beautiful.
Yeah, I didn't see much of it. I was on the way to the Bridge Hotel.
Very interesting game. It was great to watch. Let's really quickly, we've got to get out of the studio soon. So let's do a really quick...
Freo are 0-2, my man.
Yeah, and I had him for the flag.
That
I
is
have them missing the 8. Fuck, I'm a genius.
that is concerning.
That's fine. They're 0-2. They lost to North. They lost to Sydney.
20s.
Sydney have looked pretty good in their
Got
first
West
2.
Coast this week. That's a bit of a banana peel.
They've lost.
Yeah.
To be fair, Freo have lost to 2 teams that are in the top 8. So
Yeah, I can't,
they're gonna be in the top 8. So
You win this week against West Coast, your season's away. Just win this week.
Yeah, just win this week. Win this week, boys. Jago O'Meara is turning the clock back. He had 32. Not the most effective 32, but he had...
And Josh Tracy is scary.
Wow.
But we got to praise Joel Amarty for being clutch with a minute 30 to go. Went back and slotted it after he had a corky.
Yeah.
good on
And
the
I was saying,
Swanies.
get on the field, Joel. And he got on and slotted the winner.
About time they fucking won one.
If you don't watch Fremantle footy, go and watch some Josh Tracy highlights because this man is the real deal.
No, he'll hurt you.
He's been the real deal for a couple of years, and man, he's going to be bloody good.
He hurts blokes.
He's 22 years old.
Bloody
Oh, my
good.
goodness.
Bloody good.
22 years old, 195 centimeters. What a man. Finishing off the show, there's a couple of hypotheticals, just 2 that I want.
I love
I
hypothetical. It
don't
got
know.
him in trouble.
Well,
once.
hypotheticals or
I don't like hypotheticals.
He got in trouble once
I want
for
you to
hypotheticals.
Yeah, what's the hypothetical?
well,
mate?
it's just
I'll answer
hypothetical
him
might
with
be
my
the wrong
chest
word.
out.
my manager might have a few words with you.
Sam Darcy will win the Coleman.
Wrong.
No,
No, who wins it?
Darcy Fogarty, I reckon.
The
He's-
Fog.
Or Marbia Chol. If Mitch
I
Lewis,
don't-
So Sam Darcy can't win the Coleman.
technically he can, but he won't.
Technically.
Okay, so you're betting against him. That's fine.
I'm going to say he won't.
Oh, Sam Darcy's gonna come for me now.
I'm taking the field with that one.
So that's not. I don't know about that, Dos.
I'm
I
taking-
reckon he can. I reckon he absolutely can. I don't think I've seen that dominance against a back like Darcy Moore. Darcy Moore said it, but you cannot get to him. It's like what Max King should have been, because when Kingy's like that and
Yeah.
you're not doing anything, no defender in the league's getting up there, and Sam Darcy's actually clunking all of them. He's actually taking all of them. He's not.
Come back to me next week with the same question, because at the moment I think it's still up in the air. But
Nah, yeah. I love him and I froth him, and this isn't even, we're not scratching the surface on his talent, but I'm taking the field there. I tipped Larky before the season, and I'd still back him over Darcy at the moment for this season.
can't remember who I had, but yeah,
Does
Love this game, by the way. Like, I'm in. This is good.
I hate this.
Does Ken Hinkley leave before end of year?
No,
No, why would you? Just see it out.
they're stuck to a deal, and they'll stick to it.
And it's just funny. They lose one game and everyone's like, oh, it doesn't work and he's going to leave. And it's like, he has a season to transition it to Josh Carr and protect him. Like, Ken's going to cop all the heat this year while Josh Carr's working his system into the team. So it's just a really clever decision by the Port Adelaide Footy Club.
Port fans also were giving him the highest praise after they beat Richmond. It's like, oh, sign him for another 2 years. Come on, guys. Let's be real.
Will
Love this game.
Tristan, this is the last one.
Oh,
Will Tristan Jerry take Gorney's All-Australian blazer?
I think he's got to. I think he's primed for the picking this year.
on the back half of last season, he was the best ruckman. It's just Gorney's front half was phenomenal. and he's almost starting this season the way he ended last season. So I'd say that is true.
To be fair, Gorney is having his off-field issues, and the club will. I mean, take
The club's
care. The club
struggling
will.
a bit.
The club will support him through that, but I think Sherry he showed what he can do. Yeah, like
Yep.
Jossie said, back end of last year he was great. He started unbelievably this year. I think.
Without Cherry, who we've all said his name differently, so I just wanted to get an extra one in. But who else would be out there in the league that could?
Marshall.
Oh,
TDK?
Bryn Teakle.
Wow, he was good in the
Rowan
VFL. There was a draw.
Oh, Marshall.
I'd say TDK is probably that next one.
I reckon Rowan Marshall's better.
I'm taking TDK.
Tim English, I got to back my boy in.
Fair.
Drapers thereabouts. Grundy.
Love him, but
Draper's a K forward arguably this year.
I love
Wow.
Draper, but I don't think he gets a ruckman All Australian blazer.
Yeah, so it would be X, and then I don't know, chuck a blanket over a few.
Yeah,
Chuck the
fuck
blanket
it, Sam
over.
Draper.
Get
Sam
around.
Draper and Sherry.
Get
Tim
around
Draper's All Australian centre.
Witty.
All right, that brings us to the end of another episode of the Monday Magnets, episode 7. We are flying.
Great episode. Great episode.
Bloody flying into this season, boys. It's bloody great to be here with you on another Monday just to get it done. Aiden, one word to describe your Monday, start to your Monday? Lovely. Dos, one word?
Sinus infection.
Shin boner.
Shin boner? Normal boner.
Wow, yeah.
That's 2 words.
No, hyphen. Hyphen it. Thank you all for watching. We'll see you again next Monday for another episode of Monday Magnets. Go the boys. Happy as Larry.